how to turn a girl on instead of creeping her out and get text messages like this. Yeah, have I ever told you the story of this one before? I actually I have for the guys in Adonis school I have, but for just the guys in cases you haven't been in Adonis school or maybe you weren't on the live call. I you guys know my starting point. I was like a little hissless virgin, whatever, video gamer. And my friends like treated me as such. I go to university and I go and change a lot. I get into weightlifting, I'm partying. You saw that transformation before. Basically, let me just show you the pictures just so you can see how much of a difference it was. I go from this guy, like this one here, that my friends had always known and always like, little video gamer, little chubby kid and everything, to this in 1 year. I go from virgin to getting probably with around like 15 girls in 1 year. I come back home and my friends literally still, like, my friends, they still treat me the same way. They still treat me like a little fucking loser. Anyone had that where you've made so much progress, but people still treat you like you used to? And it's fucking annoying, isn't it? Like family do that, your old friends do that. You probably are having this right now. That's how self-improvement works. Let me just draw something for you because it's so interesting. I'm glad we're talking about this because this will really help a lot of you guys. Self-improvement is always kind of like a range, like it's like this, where this is where you're actually at right now, but this is where people treat you. And as you progress, it goes like this, like that, where it's like, sure, people are treating you better and better and better, but it's still significantly lower. Well, who's this? My Samsung, bro, has got a Samsung, bro. What? How can I take him seriously if you got a Samsung? Just roasted himself in the first word, bro. See ya, son. Mental illness. Yeah, so you get to hang on, let me just move the chat. Nah, I got him. Was he not? He wasn't posting I'll come to your meetups and I will destroy it. Fuck you, N-word boy. I am Ivan. You will never get rid of me. You watch porn until you're N-word. I'll fuck you until you scream. Damn, that's kind of hot. It'll be the biggest thing on the news in the media industry. Usually the BBC are hiding stuff about that, bro. That's fucking funny, bro. He's using my alpha male sex tactics, bro. Dat post cap, bro. What a good student, man. So this is the sad part about self-improvements. Like you will move up, but people will always treat you kind of like it lags behind. Any like people relate, you all relate to this, right? It's like you've definitely made progress. The amount of like education you went through, the self-transformation, the self-image, everything. But people just have a delayed response, especially family as well. And this is what was happening with my friends. It's like I came home and I expected them to like treat me really different because I had changed, and they instantly put me back in that position. But I almost like I wanted to revolt out of it. And we go on this night out. I had just literally fucked 15 girls in the last year, but these guys still knew me as and still treated me like a virgin. We go to this club in town center, me and these little video game guys. And they're not chads, they're like, awkward as fuck. They're the kind of guys who buy a drink and they'll stand in the side of the club and hold it there. And I used to like literally think these guys were, better than me and whatever. And now last year I'd been going out partying, dancing, everything, right? And we walk into this club, like this bar, and this girl walks out who recognizes me because me and her had spoke a little bit on Instagram. I like randomly followed her and sent her a message, and she's really fucking pretty as well, right? Not like a model or anything, but like a solid like 7 or something, which was still fairly high for me. And she kind of speaks to me outside, and I see my friends kind of like randomly like make jokes about it. So imagine this girl sees you, You're speaking to her and like flirting with her a bit, and your friends are almost stood behind you, kind of like whispering to her, kind of pointing to you and saying like, "Oh, he's got a small dick." They're just like trolling like fucking little retards behind me. But whatever, I kind of ignore them and I'm flirting with her and I say to her like, "Go on, I just got here. I'll be with my friends when I get some drinks. I'll meet you at like the near the end of the night." We go drink. She does whatever, and send her a message later on saying, "Come, like where are you at? Let's meet now." And she's like still in the same club, so I go back over there with one friend, and she's there with like a big group of guys, big group of girls, being social and shit. And I sit down next to her. I'm talking to her, flirting with her, and she's telling me like, "Yeah, these guys have been buying me drinks all night, so amazing, whatever." And I'm like laying the fucking game that I've been practicing for the last year full time instead of studying. So I'm laying the game, grabbing her hand, Keno, talking. Oh, she's got rings on, so I'm like touching the ring, like just getting like a bit of touch and everything. And I do this tactic where like let me show it on you, bro. Where like I look into her eyes as I'm talking about something, and then just look down to her lips for a few seconds, and then look back up. Put my hand there next to the side of her face, lean in, kiss her, start making out right there. Oh no! So that's what it looks like, bro. Start making out with her right there, right? These guys have been buying her drinks. This random fucking brown guy's just showing up and literally started kissing her. The moment we stop kissing with full confidence, we're not even asking the question, I stand up, turn away, and I go like this. Come on, me and you are going for a walk, and I stick my hand out like this. She just grabs it, stands up. We walk past my friend that looks at me as if I've like killed someone. Like he looks a little bit shocked, but I could see in his face he was trying to like pretend it wasn't real. Like he was having such like a paradigm shift of like, wait, but Hamza's like the little virgin that we usually mock. Like, how's he getting a girl who's more attractive? I didn't get any girls, whatever. Basically, me and her walk around the town center till eventually I fuck her outside of an Aldi. And I don't use protection and I don't pull out. I mean, I was like 19, bro. But yeah, she got like a cute little set. I was gonna put the selfie on this and like blur her face out, but yeah, we're in like nighttime. I walk her back to a friend. She texts me this the next morning, and a few days later, she posts. I think it was a either 1 year or 6 month or some like some milestone anniversary with her boyfriend. Brutal. So there's so many lessons with this. So many different lessons I had. One, your old friends ain't shit and get rid of them as fast as possible because it's not even nice to be around them. And even when you do something hype, like I had this hype night and everything, it was like they weren't even nice to me. They actively wanted me to like fail. When I didn't fail, it's like their brain kind of pretended like it wasn't happening, which it felt unfair. It felt like no, like like if you were gonna see me fail, I want you to fucking open your eyes whilst I win. And it was almost like I remember because what happened. I text that friend, the one I had left there, sent him a message and said, "Oh, you still out? Come meet me right now." I think he was sober, so he picked me up in his car. And he was like trying to like change the conversation when I brought it up of what just happened, which usually this guy would be telling me details about him. Oh, he's been banging this girl, he's been doing this. And it was just so interesting that he was like so afraid to have the conversation, to have the paradigm break of like, oh yeah, Hamza's not the little treating him as. And yeah, that's the context of this. And then I never saw her again after that point, and she fully like was in this committed relationship for like a while afterwards. But yeah, and then she went. I won't say that. I won't say that because there'll be too much detail. But yeah. So if you maybe you don't want to be a dirty degenerate, totally understand. But if you at least want the opportunity for girls to see you in the way where they'd casually like sleep with you, which I think that even if you're like a good religious man, you should want to be at the level where you are so desirable, where women will like be primal, where they won't even think about the law, they won't think about social repercussions. They'll want you there and then, like in public. Even if you don't want to fuck someone, even if you don't want to have like degenerate sex with some girl you don't know, even if you don't want to have public sex, I think that being the kind of man who can is quite important. Why do girls get creeped out? This is like a meme I saw a little while ago. You say the exact same things, and one is sexual harassment, and one is like encouraged. It's the exact, like they've said the exact same thing. It's first of all, first and foremost, the unsexy answer is okay, who are you, first of all? Like what level of man are you? What I can say and get away with right now is completely different from what I could get away with 5 years ago, from what I could get away with 10 years ago. Completely different. I remember that girls used to be like I could even tell you one time, I was texting this one girl and she was like, trying to make like like a how do I explain it? Like she was trying to do like a pickup line on me, like it was a bit of goofy stuff, right? And it was kind of cringe, but she said some pickup line to me, and I said, "Wow, that was so good that I have to change my pants now." I was insinuating like, "Oh yeah, she was." It was so like funny what she said or whatever that I came my pants, right? And it's kind of like whatever. It's like a shit response, but whatever. And she fucking takes it like serious, but in a bad way, that she's grossed out and everything. And she can't believe I said that. And I'm like, I'm apologizing like a little bitch. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should have said that. It was sarcastic. I should have wrote like the /s internet mark for like, I'm using sarcasm, guys. It's just a joke, JK. Like, I was literally like backpedaling like that. I couldn't even make like a fucking joke about like busting in your nut. Now I do that fucking like I've done it like 4 times in this call, bro. It's like the words are the same. If anything, they're even more vulgar right now. But it's like they're actually encouraged. I make the even more extreme jokes with girls that I meet literally like days ago, and they'll laugh at it. It's not that the joke has changed. It's gotten more vulgar. It's that I have changed. And actually also the kind of women I'll attract because I've changed as well. So that's the first protocol for if you feel like you sometimes creep girls out or you act a little bit weird or needy, is it's unsexy, but just commit to your self-improvements and keep going forward. Who relates to this, by the way? Who feels like you still have like parts of you that comes across creepy or socially weird or abnormal or a turn off for girls? Type one in the chat, let me see. Quite a lot of us. A good book for this, if you all want to read more on this, is Models by Mark Manson. Let me just write it. Someone writes in the chat. Someone write in the chat for me. Models by Mark Manson. Really good book for this. It's about how to not be like needy, creepy, and everything. Really, really good book. I remember reading that book after years of obsessing over red pill and pickup artistry and stuff. Reading that book and actually thinking, fuck, if I just read this book from the start, I actually would have been better off. I'm actually like so impressed by it. So if you're watching this with a lot of interest today on this topic, highly recommend. It's one of the best books I've read about like dating and meeting women. It's so intelligent. Yeah, I'm trying to say your name, bro, but you always got it. So the first protocol to face it, like to push you over to this line, is to increase your SMV. Your SMV is the sexual market value, basically what you bring to the table to a girl, whether for a short-term or a long-term relationship. What does that mean? It's comprised by 4 things. So basically, if you want to go from this to this, there's 4 things you can actually improve on. I'm bringing you through like first principles, retard foundation thinking, just so we can start from the beginning. There's looks, money, status, personality. My version of self-improvement improves all 4. So I won't go into this. You don't need to hear more about any of these because I've already spoke about them so much. Basically, if you watch basically any of my YouTube videos, especially like the self-improvement Jeffrey Nadonis era, they're all about one of these. Most likely, if you're here today, you've already been improving all 4. It's going to take a while, but just keep doing that and you'll start pushing into this level there. But here's the interesting part. Even guys who are like Chad millionaires, like this status, even they get falsely accused of rape. Even they get chaotic stuff. You've all seen this in the news, right? Like what names do we know? Like Andrew Tate, Emmett Till. Anyone know that story? There's guys who are fairly like attractive. Johnny Depp. He's a fucking like heartthrob for so many women. It's insane that you can still be at a high level and shit can happen. So even though this can help you to just not come across as creepy, there's something else that's missing. What is it? Because it's so easy to say, okay, well, don't be creepy by just like, doing hygiene and improving yourself and stuff. It's so easy to say that. But then rappers and millionaires would never get accused, but they always do. They always get screenshotted and stuff, and they always get like exposed on Twitter. Some girl saying like, "Oh, look, he sent me this message and stuff." What is it? It's sexually escalating without being weird. You can be a millionaire Chad, but still come across in the wrong way. Basically, it's all about the feelings that she feels whilst with you, and also the story that she tells herself afterwards. So here's a question for you to journal about if you want to write this question down for yourself, because it's a fucking deep one. What story may a girl say about having sex with me? How would she interpret that experience in her mind? Is she going to go home afterwards and think, oh, that sexy guy fucked me and it was so hot. It was like, it was like, it was so amazing. Or is she going to think like, oh yeah, I've got to make sure no one finds out? Is she going to think, oh, he was an asshole? It's such an interesting question to ask because you know what's interesting? It won't always be the same, right? So there's girls who would think to themselves like that sex god had just fucked me. There's also girls that would think to themselves that guy was a fucking asshole, like with me, and it'll change kid to girl. Literally within like one day, it could completely change depending on how I've behaved with a certain woman. If she leaves with a certain kind of story, there's a chance that you basically lose your entire life for it. What story, like let's put ourselves in a woman's perspective. What story might she end up believing about the night with you that would cause her to then do something crazy, like falsely accuse you of rape or sexual assault or some, she starts acting like super crazy or some shit. What story might she have in her mind telling her friends 100% and her friends delude her into thinking, wait, what? Like, no, no, no. He manipulated me. She was too drunk. No, I didn't cheat on my boyfriend. He took advantage of me. Just be careful of these. A lot of the times, especially, it's related to her friends as well. I'll tell you this one news article I read a while ago. It's off this. It's like this immigrant in like Germany or something like that, and he goes to a nightclub and he gets like this trashy Western girl, takes her into the bathroom, and then fucks her in the bathroom. He doesn't get her number. She consented. It's all good. The next day, this dickhead finds her friends on Facebook, calls them, mentions that he had sex with her in the bathroom, and then asks them to kind of like connect her with him. Imagine the look of fucking disgust on her face when she hears from her friends, "Oh, hey, this illegal immigrant said that he fucked you yesterday. Are you a low status hoe?" And it's so easy for her to say, "Oh yeah, he raped me." So he gets taken to court. He's about to go lose 20 years of his life. He pulls out his phone onto the voice recordings. He just so happened to press record for whatever like came into his mind. And he's got like a voice memo where they transcribed it. And it's basically the girl saying like, yeah, put it in, whatever. So it proves it was consensual. Now, he does not deserve to be put in prison for something he did not do, but he's still a fucking retard. Still an absolute fucking brain dead dumb fuck. And any of you who will do this, you're a dumb fuck as well. You don't fuck a girl in a dirty, disgusting place and then go and like tell her friends. Me sleeping with this girl, for example, in like the middle of nowhere and telling it the story five, like who knows, 6, 7 years later is absolutely fine because you don't know the girl. There's basically no way you could find out like who this was, and it's years later. Imagine if that same night I was a fucking idiot. I fucked her outside, walked her back to her friends, and I was like, "Oh, guys, guess what? Some guys would actually do that." And I want to hear some humility. Type one in the chat if you were drunk, you might actually be that fucking idiot who might do something like that. Like you just fucking talk too much. But just be honest, because I would have to say one for a lot of my life, right? Especially when you crave validation, especially if we mix like drinking and a certain kind of friend. Be fucking honest, right? If you had a certain kind of friend and you were drunk and maybe you were high and you had friends who were hyping you up and saying, "Oh, bro, did you fuck her?" Because if you're being honest right now, it's good for you because then you might think, oh shit, okay, that's like a vulnerability. That's a chink in my armor that I've got to make sure that I don't like allow to fuck me up in the future. You do something like that, it's so easy for the girl to turn around and be like, "What? No, I didn't. He just grabbed me. He just did this. He just did whatever." Sharad said, "Just keep your mouth shut whilst you're drunk, bro. Keep your mouth shut 24 fucking 7 when it comes to certain issues. It's like like all of us here should not be socially autistic. All of us here should have some of the fucking self-awareness to know like what's appropriate to say in certain situations or not. You don't go to a girl's friend and then say that you fucked her in like this degen environment. Like, you know, there's a time and a place where you could literally be talking to a girl's best friend and talk about having sex with her. But there's like completely different vibe. It's like she brings it up. You're all talking about sex in general, and her friend asks you a question or some shit. And even then you probably want to fucking zip it anyway. Keep it to yourself. Now, this is coming from me, who I was a big fucking egotistical, like validation seeker, and probably still am, right? So I used to fuck girls and I used to talk about it straight away. The difference was that I would talk about it like to my friends, not to the girl or to her friends. I was never stupid enough for that because I'm not gonna lie, I was so horny that I usually wanted to like fuck her friends anyway, and I knew that telling them straight up wouldn't be good. This same thing happened to me, not like the false accusation, but basically there was like a really, really fucking hot girl in the student accommodation that I used to live in for university. Like, really, really attractive. Like literally, my friend, when I first slept with her, my friend was hyping it up as like she's the most attractive girl in here. That level, like he was like screaming about how big of a thing it was. Like she'd walk past and everyone would stare. She had a boyfriend as well. I ended up fucking her, right? I slept with her on and off for like months. I don't see her for a while, and eventually I invite her to come over to my apartment where I live with my friend, like that black friend I have, Levi. You've all seen him on the videos, and me and him have this vibe where we're like we laugh and we joke and we're loud, right? She comes over to my room, whatever. We have sex. She goes into the bathroom and randomly, like you've got post-nut clarity, you're just kind of like bored, whatever. I put a towel around my waist, go into my friend's room. He's playing Fortnite, and I loudly say, "Oh yeah, I just fucked her, bro." I'm talking to him for a few minutes. I hear her come out of the bathroom. So I leave his room and go into my room. And she's looking at me in disgust and in heartbreak. She was like, "Why did you just say that?" She's like, "You were just in there telling your friend that you've just fucked me." Like she was looking at me in disgust as if I was a fucking idiot. And I promise this is where it gets worse. Literally, like an hour later, we're going for round two. She's in the bathroom. I swear to fucking God, I went back to his room and told him again, bro. And she literally, this time, she's pissed. She's fully pissed. And she literally does this whole like fucking thing. It's like, "You'll never see him this ass again." And I never fucking did, bro. I never, like, she was solid. I'm not even joking. Like, solid, like 9, 10, like fucking attractive girl. She literally looked me in the face when you're never seeing this ass ever again. And I never did, bro. Just because I fucking wanted to yap, bro. And here's the thing. You want to hype up with the boys. I totally understand because it's part of the fun. It's probably the most fun part of like sleeping with a girl is like hyping up with the boys. But like have some fucking brains and think there's certain situations when it's safe and funny to do so. Like it is right now. It's like she's not going to be in this call right now. I'm hoping not. Like it's not Ivan, right? Like there's certain situations where it's fine, and there's certain situations where it's not fine. For your own benefit, so that you don't piss off a girl that you want to keep seeing, so that you don't make her feel disgusted and like revolted by you, so she runs away. You don't risk like a false accusation or she's grossed out by you or anything like that. But also, let's just be honest, we want to be fucking respectful men, like a gentleman. You can be like a loud mouth motherfucker when you're with the boys, but a gentleman should show like a really good side to himself when women are around. That's just a trait that I really think a lot of men should pick up because I didn't have this. I said this in I made the breakup video a few weeks ago, and I said into it like you should have this like gentleman, like James Bond vibe. You should be sophisticated. You should pull open the door. You should flirt with her and stuff. And all these little fucking kids were like saying like, "Oh well, you shouldn't. You should just play this mysterious, like you should like fake it and everything." It's not faking it. It's just not being a fucking idiot. If there's women around, let's be gentlemen. Like if I've got my girl next to me and one of you dorks come up to me and you're like, "Oh, Hamza, do the Adonis voice." I was like, "Bro, relax, man, relax." Like when the woman's gone, yeah, I'll do some push-ups with you on the floor, bro. Fine, like relax, bro. Like you want to have an arm wrestle whilst I'm on a date with a girl? Like there's a vibe like that you have, and this is not being fake or inauthentic. There's a reason why I haven't just burped randomly in the mic right now. I'm a human being. I burp, but there's a time and place for everything. It's not like you're randomly just gonna do random shit all the time. Otherwise, it's inauthentic. It's not inauthentic for me not to burp in this mic right now, right? At the same time, it's not inauthentic if I choose to like speak to a woman differently because I'm trying to maintain her love and attraction into me. So bear that in mind. Don't be stupid as fuck. If there's a girl you like and you probably want to keep seeing if you just get past the 10, 20 minute like fucking um post nut clarity, be careful with your words because you can get this fucking sassy finger. And she's genuinely like, you're never gonna see her again, bro. It's so sad. Fumble the bag, man. So learn how to sexually escalate without being weird. The social mannerisms are key for this. So in this part of this guide, I'm going to break down in autistic steps exactly what would do from the first time that I meet a girl to the point till after I've fucked her. And for the guys who have already got Adonis School, you've probably learned this advice, but we'll just recap it and I might end up saying something new. So from the first sighting, of the cold approach, or I wrote here first flirty conversation, because for example, if she's a girl in your school, but you're about to go and actually try and pull her, we're going to say, okay, this is first sight. This is how I would go about it. I 100% think you should not go like full, what I call Indian pickup artist. So don't go and do this fucking clown energy of like, oh hey, like, what's your favorite dinosaur? Like, oh, like just asking cringe fucking pickup, yeah, fucking Sakib. So like, tag fucking Sakib, bro. He came up on the call yesterday. You see him right, bro, in the chat, right? He came up on the call, and I was like, okay, pretend I'm a girl. Come like rizz me up. What would you say? And he's like, oh yeah, well, I'd ask like, what's your favorite dinosaur? What's this? And me and you are gonna do. I was like, bro, just stop. It's like you're giving me the ick, bro. Like you don't like, and it still works. It works, right? But what I would say is, if especially if you're trying to just go for like not feeling like an autist who's trying too hard, the way that I would go about this first conversation when you're taking basically either a stranger slash a girl that you know but you're not like romantic with into a potential romantic interest is the first question or the first word that you say is basically just like a light-hearted question, which is absolutely fine. So basically, imagine you walk up to a girl and you literally say to her, yo, excuse me, what time does this gym close? Yo, excuse me, how many sets do you have on that? What exercise is that, by the way? Simple as that. I have always like I've tried both, but I've way preferred this compared to the direct game of like, oh hey, I saw you from over there and you're really cute and stuff, because that often puts women on the defensive, and it also it's kind of harder for you to get into a conversation when you've got to do a direct approach. Imagine this in school, imagine this in the gym. You're going to be a lot less likely to do this than you are just go up to a girl and just ask her like a human question. I'd always say go and do that. For example, there was I've told you guys the international shooting, the Chinese girl when I was in university. It always felt to us like international girls, like Chinese students, were out of reach. Like they never seemed to like to merge or to mix with the local guys here in university. So I used to see this girl come in with like perky titties, and she looked a little bit older, but she was like 5'1" or something. And I saw her a few times and I thought she was pretty hot, but I didn't say anything because I was like, oh yeah, you can't say anything. But then I thought, wait, I could actually just ask her a question, right? Even for that kind of situation where we had this belief that you can't get those kinds of girls, I still thought, oh yeah, but I could just go ask her an innocent question. So I walked up to her, kind of shook my hand like this. She took her earphones out and I said, hi, do you know what time the gym closes? And she goes like, I think 7 p.m. Obviously, she's retarded. It's 24/7, bro. I'm here every day. I've been here at like 2 a.m., bro. I know what time the gym closes. But I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And like, I see you train here all the time. What do you train for? And she says, oh, like just health and fitness or whatever. So she goes, sits down on like the lat pull down, and she's like, she can't even reach the thing. So I go over to like reach it for her to bring it down, and she almost like recoils, right? So that's like the kind of culture that she has. So I have all of the reason to believe like I'm not gonna get this girl, but I still speak to her in this just human questions. Instead of me saying like, you're really cute and I want to go on a date with you, she would have said no if I said that. But instead I said like, oh, are you new to training like this? And she says, oh yes, I see like my friends training like this and I wanted to try it too. I end up saying to her like maybe a 5 minute conversation, oh, let me get your WhatsApp, and then sometimes we can train together. Like we can be in the gym at the same time. It's like really, really friendly approach, and she's fine with it. Eventually, I end up getting with her, and she becomes like a consistent girl that I see. It's hot as fuck. She lives in my building. It's awesome. If I went up with a bit of a harder approach, I wouldn't have gotten her. I would have not even that she would have rejected me. I would not have even spoke to her in the first place. So I'm all for going up to a girl and just saying a human like question, which you probably don't even give a shit of the answer to. The answer doesn't matter. So literally go up to a girl in the middle of your town center and say, "Excuse me, do you know where that store is? Excuse me, do you know where this thing is?" And you can like to not be autistic, you can ask more of a personal question. "Excuse me, I'm just going on a bit of an adventure today. Where should I go? Excuse me, where can I get the best snack from?" Okay, now it's a bit interesting. You stand out a little bit more. That's how I would start for the first encounter. And what I would do different from what a lot of the guys do who I see who are cold approaching is I would not be trying to get her contact details immediately. So many guys will literally go up, speak to a girl, and try and get their numbers. Not because they actually want to get into a text conversation with this girl, but just because they think that's what's normal. I wouldn't suggest that. Let me ask you right now, if you were a primal man and you didn't have low testosterone and you never watched the pickup artist video, if you went up to speak to a girl that you wanted to fuck, what would you want to do with her? Would you want to say, "Hey, can we exchange contact details and then I can like text you till you like stop replying?" Or maybe would you just want to shoot your shot and say like, "What are you doing after this?" Why not? What if there's a 2% chance that the girl's gonna say yes? You cold approach 50 girls and you've got a girl who's down to meet you, like to spend time with you immediately. Why wouldn't you go for that? It's way more exhilarating, right? So you let's say, okay, you go cold approach a girl in the gym tomorrow. Instead of doing this same bookwass of like you go up to her, okay, oh, what's your favorite dinosaur? Some stupid Sikkim shit. Instead of doing all of that shit and saying, okay, can I get your number and I'll add you to the list of girls who don't reply to me? You literally just say to her, like, after this, I'm going to get a coffee just down the road. Come with me. What if you just did that to 10 girls? One of them would literally say yes, and you'd go on like an impromptu date there and fucking then. That's what you would do if you weren't like as afraid as you are. If you didn't watch all these like little cold approach videos where the guy always gets the number close or something. Because let's be honest, anyone here actually feel like the number doesn't even fucking matter? Like you get a girl's number, anyone here kind of believe like who gives a fuck? Like sometimes when it's cute when a kid posts like a post in Adonis school and he's like, "Oh, I cold approach and I got a girl's number." I'm just watching it as a guy who's been through like fucking 5,000 women. I'm like, yeah, whatever, bro. Like first time, bro. Like it doesn't matter, bro. She's not human, bro. It doesn't matter. Like till my soul's tied with her, I don't believe anything's gonna happen. Like so that's the first mannerism, and that, along with this, like the micro mannerisms. The biggest tips I'll give you is just don't have NPC body language. Many of you will go up to a girl and completely forget about a lot of the things that I've been teaching you, which is like the breath work, the confident body language. Don't be moving too much and kind of walk around her or like step side and left and right, because that's one of my like bad traits. If I'm in the gym, I've got like that sort of pre-workout energy that I'm kind of like randomly like almost circling them. Attack from the back like but also don't just stand. Like a lot of guys will stand there like a fucking NPC and not move. Like it's okay to kind of like talk to her a little bit. She makes you laugh and you kind of like touch her like this. You kind of go like that. As you walk away, it's okay to say like, "Oh, it's lovely to meet you," as you walk past her. Just a little light touch like this. It's completely fine to do that. And that's literally, if you just did that one thing where you say, "Oh, it's lovely to meet you, Sarah," like this, just that, you'd probably double how many more women are into you. There's been studies that have found, the smallest amount of touch releases oxytocin and it really bonds you guys together. So if we see all this as a numbers game, that if you approach 100 girls, you're probably go on a date with like 7 and you might like end up sleeping with 1, for example. If the only thing you changed with your cold approach was that you just kind of like freed up your body language and you just had a little bit of touch towards her, not just a handshake, but a bit of a touch when you laugh or when you walk away, you'd probably double that number of girls who'd come meet you on a day. How simple is that? That's like the one tip you could just take. So practical. The simplest thing, like I don't even need to link the study right now. You can all just kind of imagine that that's like the case statistically. That if you just had that slightest touch, any girl who was kind of into you would be more pushed into being into you, and she'd just randomly think about you more, even though she wouldn't consciously think, "Oh yeah, because he touched me." Now let's talk about first date. So we've already talked about like messaging, Tinder, Instagram. Let's talk about, okay, you guys are just meeting for a first date. What date should you go on? If you're trying to bang straight away, only meet at what I call sexy hours. Girls don't feel sexy till about 7, 8, 9 p.m. So if you want to fuck on the same night, don't fucking meet her in the daytime. Don't meet her for like for a cute workout or for a coffee or anything. Now, if you want to get to know her, by all means, meet her on your schedule if you're in monk mode, whatever. But if you actually want to like bang her straight away, you meet her at like 7, 8, 9 p.m. when it's getting dark. Otherwise, it's just like the vibe for a first date isn't there. Consistent girl. You can go meet them like fucking 12 o'clock and they'll still suck your dick in the car in the gym car park or some shit. It's fine. But but up until you have gotten to that point, you need to stack all of the odds in your favor. So we'll do two quick ones here where I'll say, okay, one is like I'm assuming you're under 18 and you're gonna do like a daytime thing because you can't stay out too late, because I've been there before. And one I'll do for the older guys who are like 18 years old, and if you wanted to, you could drink, you could stay out late, whatever. For the guys who are young, I would suggest just going on a walk in like the park where the guys and girls from your high school fuck. You probably know where it is. There's a park within like a few miles from your school, and you've probably heard that that's where the kind of like D-gens go to kind of like kiss each other and whatever, and that's where they smoke vapes and stuff. Not that you need to do that, but that's just like it. There's a reason why kids go there. So you probably know where it is. It's the trails, it's the park. We have a park next to like close to my home. That's where a bunch of fucking teenagers, like basically every park in this fucking city, every like teenagers go and do like drugs or some shit there. I'd go there, go for a walk. Simple. Go in the daytime after school, whatever. I think that's a lot better than going for like a coffee date or anything when you're young. Like being like 15, 16 and meeting in a fucking cafe was so awkward. It's like I didn't even drink coffee and I'd be there getting like some gay ass frappe or something, like with like 400 grams of sugar, and awkwardly sat there with like a girl who was like a 4 out of 10, and I was feeling insecure with like anyone who'd look. And it's like my dad's friends are walking past and everything. Like they're asking me why I'm not working at the shop, like child labor. Like so I wouldn't recommend, if you're a young guy, I would not recommend doing like a public date, dinner, coffee. Just if you're young, if you're like 13, 14, 15, just meet for a walk, simple. Or maybe meet for a workout if you want. Now, if you're older and you want to bang tonight, meet at a bar. Basically, like no exceptions. Actually, you know what there is. If you can like just casually pick her up in your car, or she can pick you up, that's also easy as well. That's such an easy one. Is like just say, let's go for a drive. I say that to girls, and by the way, I don't even have a license or a car, and it still works. It's like they'll assume I'm picking them up, and I'll be like, oh yeah, here's my address. Come, and I send them like a street away. Come pick me up. But then that's worked many times, so it's like there's no limitations there. For the guys who are older and you're able to like stay out late, if you can afford a hotel to sleep with her, find a hotel that has a bar downstairs, because that way it's perfect logistics. Don't buy the hotel, go to the bar, see if like you're vibing like fucking crazy, and literally be authentic with her, and like once you know you guys are about to fuck, it's like, okay, sweet, go buy the hotel room then. So that's the best setup if you can't like bring a girl back to your place, or if you don't really want to do like a car thing or anything. That's the best if you wanted to sleep with her immediately. But again, if you don't want to sleep with her, then I would say just do the same kind of thing. You can meet for a workout, you can meet for a walk. If you really want to see if she connects, like the way that I would do this now is, if I was looking for more of like a wife, I would actually mix her right into my schedule. Alex Hormozi tells this story of like when him and Layla started dating, he didn't want to change himself to see if like a woman really fit in with him. So he didn't change his schedule, his eating patterns at all, didn't even go on dates. He just invited her to like merge into his schedule. And if I was looking for like a wife, that's what I would do. If I was looking for like some, oh, I'm just trying to fuck tonight, I'd 100% just go to the bar, a couple of glasses of wine, and then not book the hotel, just in cases you don't know if it's gonna work. And hotels aren't that expensive. It's like £100 if it's like a fairly nice one. You get them down to like 60 if it's like some shit one that doesn't even really have a bar downstairs. It can be fairly pricey, but like I'll do that like if I'm actively fucking like once or twice a week. But I go to like the fancy hotels and everything, and they've all got like 5-star bars in the rooftop or whatever. But that's a really good vibe. That's a very, very good vibe. It's a sophisticated vibe. You're in a nice place. You bring her, she's wearing a dress and everything, and you've got the hotel room there. It's nice. The greeting. So you've got this organized. Now let's say she's just about to walk in. Let's say you got there a little bit early. How do you greet a girl? I'll give you a quick disclaimer. I've given this advice before, and I think it was yesterday. A guy from Korea hopped on a call with me and he said he tried this advice, but it was really, really awkward. And it's because his culture is completely different. He said, for us here, even holding hands is a big thing. So I said to him, oh, fuck, like I should have gave a disclaimer. This is basically my own bias of my experiences in a Western country. Now, if you're in like a Muslim country, the advice is going to be very different, but I'm just going to tell you exactly what I've been through, right? Let's say you've just about gotten there, you see her, walk straight in, say her name, and always go for a hug. You never want it to be this thing where you meet a girl and you kind of walk towards each other and then you kind of stop like autists and you're like, oh hey, like yeah, nice to meet you, and like, and you thinking, oh, I'm not gonna shake your hand because that's kind of weird. Do you shake hands with girls or not? I don't really know. And yeah, let's go this way, and then you kind of like walk in front of her. Anyone had that type of shit before? You want to break the touch barrier like literally immediately, and it's absolutely fine to do that. So if I'm walking into a place right now and I see my girl, I'll literally like walk straight up to her, look her in the eyes, and say like, "Oh, hello, dear. Oh, hello, good evening," whatever it is, and literally just like from a bit of a distance, make it clear that I'm going in for a hug. From like let's say 3 steps away, I'll kind of like stick my hands out like this, like a one-handed hug, like this. You don't go for like a connecting. I love you. Like you don't go for like this kind of hug. You don't do that. It's more like a this and my this side of the face will touch the other side of her face. My left side of my body's not touching her at all, for example, like this. And I'm kind of leaning into her. I don't do like a whole, oh, come here, like let me like I've got childhood trauma. I'll do like just like that. That's it. I don't personally do like the kiss on the cheek, or I've never done that. You don't really need to. If you want to, fine. But I've never really needed to. That's the greeting. And straight after that, one thing I suggest is don't move to the place you're going immediately. So imagine you've just given her the hug. It's really like autistic, but it's so normal to kind of do it and be like, oh, okay, let's go right now. And you're almost like walking off, and she's kind of trailing behind you, feels a bit awkward. It's okay to kind of just stand there for a second after you've hugged and just ask a brain dead question, kind of like how we did for the cold approach, and just be like, did you get here okay? Like, of course she fucking did. She's not gonna say, oh yeah, I got gang raped or something on the way. Like, but it's like just a lot of us right now. There's one piece of advice I'm going to say to everyone listening, because I promise you, all of us, all 250 guys need to hear this. Turn off 50% of your brain. When it comes to dates, turn off, especially the first date, turn off 50% of your brain. You, by being in this call right now, you are an intellectual like as fuck. And you'll like, you want to go meet a girl who's intellectual as well, fair enough. But when you're an intellectual, it can make you socially autistic where you think too much. You're like analyzing everything. If you turn off 50% of your brain and you pretend you were like 50% of a simpleton, how would imagine this the simpleton kind of like semi-Chad that you know from high school? How would he interact in that greeting? He'd go up and be like, hiya, so you look nice. Do you want to get a drink? Like they met for drinks, and he'll say something as stupid as that, but it's like it actually flows so much better than us intellectually thinking like, okay, so I've got to open the door, and then wait, should she walk in first or should it be me? Like, and it's this way. This is the coordinates. I checked it on Google Maps before. It's only 46 meters away. It's like we're too smart for this shit. So go with like just pretend that you're like 25, 50% stupider. Like you probably like all of you know someone right now, right? You know like who you could archetype for this, right? Just type one in the chat if you know someone. Because I know a few guys that I almost like pretend to step into their sort of archetype as I meet a girl just for a few minutes. Because if I go and meet a girl for myself, I'm too much of like a fucking intellectual. It's hard to explain, but it's like I'll get too deep too quickly. And that simpleton guy will be so much more fun. It's the difference. Like I've told you guys the story of when I went to Croatia in university for like this sports tour, and I'm intellectual as fuck. We're about to get onto this coach with a bunch of cheerleaders. So I'm overthinking it like crazy. What do I say? How do I get my dick sucked on this coach? My fucking friend Levi, he walks in and he goes, "Woo, cheerleaders. That's all he says, and they're all like screaming. "Oh!" Like, I was like, that's all it took. I was literally like setting up a fucking game plan of like how I'd go from my seat to like the seat behind, and he just randomly says it loud, and it's like the ice has just been broken. So when in doubt, go like if you just want to use my friend, go Levi mode and just go like a little bit more of a simpleton. Do you want to get a drink? Simple. Do you want to go for this walk then? Simple as that. So it just kind of cues it rather than it being like you meet her, you kind of don't say anything, you don't touch each other, and you be like, okay, and then you start walking off, and she's like, okay, I guess I'll follow this retard then, like we'll follow behind you. Chit chat. Best case scenario, she's doing 80% of the talking. Tourism, like imagine like a 2 hour like unedited video of me walking into a date having like wine with some girl. I wish I could I'll probably do that for the next day I go on because it'd be fucking prime content for you guys. You would be so surprised of how little I talk, and if you heard me talk, this is what it'd be like. I'd go up and see her, be like, "Hiya, oh, you look lovely, yeah, let's sit down." I sit down. I like, she'd ask me something, she'd ask me a question, and I'll kind of be a bit slow. So imagine she's asked the question right now, and I'd be like, yeah, I came like 30 minutes ago, just got an Uber. Yeah, how about you? Talking like just like casual. I like stop. I'll pretend like I don't know why I do this. I'll like randomly pretend I've got like something in my teeth. I'll go like while she's talking to me. Then I'll look over to her. Then I'll sit across from her first, so we're eye to eye if we're doing like a drinking thing. And I'll just be literally eye fucking her. I'll just be staring into her eye, but casually like ordering. The waiter will come up and I'll say, "Shall I order for you?" I'll get her something good. I'll order. I'll ask her as well, like, "Oh, what kind of thing do you have?" If you're in a place where you order, that's the phrase I always use is, "Shall I order for you?" Some girls will say no, especially if you're in the West. It's kind of weird. Some girls will say yes. If they say yes and it's your first date, it's totally okay to not fucking guess and get her something which is shit. It's like okay to say like, "What's your favorite cocktail?" Again, it's like, what would a fucking simpleton you say? "What drink do you like?" It's that simple. Where they're thinking, okay, so I've got to be a man, and like, like, oh, so I remember there was that influence study that said like if you go for the middle, it's kind of like this. So the most expensive one's too expensive, but the middle one, I kind of wanted that cheap one, but like I don't want to look cheap. It's like, bro, just fucking, what drink do you like? I like this drink. It's that simple, and it's actually more sexy than you like trying to show like, oh well, there was a study that said if they show you three options, like you can talk about that stuff by all means, but you don't want it to be taking you out of the present zone, right? So now let's say we're in the middle of the date. We've done the first few interactions. She asked me a bunch of like bullshit questions, and I've asked her some as well. I don't talk about like life, even if it's going to be on a serious date. I don't talk about like, do you have any siblings? Do you have this? Do you have this? I talk about here and now. I swear this is what gets me laid. Like every single day I go on, I have sex with the girl. I can't remember. There's been a few, but like in general, if I want to have sex with a girl, like she's down. The reason why is because I'm not making her think about boring shit like what she does for work. Whilst you're asking her if she's got siblings, I'm like staring into her eyes, and literally I'll be brain dead. She won't say anything. She'll be like, haha, why aren't you saying anything? You got really pretty eyes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What color are your eyes? Can't you tell? Oh, like, she's like, oh, they're black. Okay. I'll be like, how's your drink? Just easy. And then she starts yapping. Okay. Oh, yeah, my brother's this, and my dad's this, and yeah, I was doing this before with Sarah, and it was like this, and I'll be like, oh, Sarah, and I'll be like playing along, like, Sarah did what? And she'll be like, haha, you're so funny, haha. As she's talking, I'll randomly sometimes interrupt, and I'll grab her hand and I'll break the touch barrier. That's so pretty. That's such a pretty ring. Where did you get this? And she'll be like, "Oh, tell me the story." And I'll be like, "Oh, it's such a nice gift." I'll take it off her finger, be like, "You're so sweet." Like, and I'll pretend that she got it for me. And I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, it looks lovely on me. It looks so much better on me than on you." And I'm like, yeah, she's like, "Oh, no, give it back." And I'm like, "No, you don't take gifts back." I'm just taking the piss out of her. I've got her little ring. Now she's like touching me, trying to take it back. And I'm like, "Listen, why are you manhandling me?" Like, I'm just teasing her now. Now she's all over me. Now she's like getting closer to me. And she's like, "Oh, well, what are these chains? These chains are all nice, whatever." Keep escalating more and more and more. Kiss, I've already showed you, is exactly what I do. We're in deep eye contact. It's okay to not say anything, by the way. Let me just give you a principle. Silence is absolutely okay. In fact, it's actually like encouraged. This is why I really want to, instead of giving you advice, I just want to record a date. because you'd be so surprised of how much silence there is, especially from me. But sometimes the girl will be silent, and I'll literally just stare into her eyes for 20 seconds straight, and she'll almost like I'll see her emotions on her face, like look at me a little bit weird. No guy's ever done this before, and I'll just stare. And trust me when I say I'll say the same thing again. You're so pretty. I'll say that 20 times in the date without because I can't think of anything else, but it's like I just my brain thought of it. So it's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll tell her. A little bit. Sometimes what I'll do is I grab their hand as they're talking and go like that. That's already broken like the kiss barrier. That's like an easy way. Imagine if you're physically sat across the table from a girl. That's the first way that I would kiss her. I'd be like playing with her hands a little bit, and I'd be like, laughing at something. She makes a joke, and I'd go without saying anything. And I'd look her into the eyes. I wouldn't say anything at all. That's sexy as fuck. Now she's already thinking about me. She's, wondering what, like, oh, this guy's so different, whatever. Then I go in for the proper kiss when I actually feel like it. So I'll look her into the eyes. I won't really say anything. I'll look down towards her lips, physically look down for about 1 or 2 seconds, just so it cues her. Then I look back up. And what I'll do is I'll say, like, come here, and I'll put my hand just softly around there or around there. I do that first before leaning in for a kiss. That way, because what I don't want is I lean in for a kiss and I look like a fucking retard when she pulls back. What I would rather have is I stick my hand out like this, and if she recoils on that, then I know that she's not going to want to kiss me. If she's fine with that, I'll just say, come here, and I'll just go in for a kiss. That's it. Kiss her a few times. As soon as I've kissed her, that's usually when I'll stand up without saying anything, and I'll say, come on, we're going to go now. This in public, by the way, Mazza just asked. I'll do this like literally at the bar. Right there at the bar in front of everyone. I don't mind. I've done times where I have to like stand up and lean over, and she will as well. So it's these weird specific things I find are the most helpful for me to teach you. It's like, how do you kiss a girl who's sat across from the table from you? It's like it feels awkward, right? It's okay for you to like literally lean over with like a bit of a distance and literally stand up and go in for that. If she's been receptive towards this, then it's okay for you to do that. And the worst case scenario, you go in and she kind of pulls back. You do nothing. You just pull your hand back and just kind of like smile as if you both are into the game. That's it. You just kind of smile, grab your glass, smell it a little bit, take away a bit of the attention from her so she misses you for a few seconds. And I'll literally just go into my own world. If she rejects me in any way, that's what I always do. I'll basically ignore her for at least a few seconds or a few minutes. And I'll just kind of like smell my wine or something. I'll never do anything like check my phone, but I'll do something of like, I'll literally start playing with the ring again and be like, yeah, it is a nice ring. If she's fucking weird, he didn't pressure me for it. He didn't even like, go hard into this. That's the kiss. Stand up, stick your hand out. Come on, we're going for a walk. Take us somewhere private. Bedroom. But we're past the time, so if you need to go now, I'll try and make all of this quite quick. But if you need to go, I understand. Let me cover the rest of this for you. Are you boys liking this section, by the way? I feel like this is where I've got 10,000 hours of practice, man. So let me know if you're enjoying this. If not, I'll hop off, boys. I promise you till 8 p.m. If you don't want me to, it's fine. If I don't see 1,000 ones in the chat right now, I'm holding you hostage for 1,000 ones. Okay. Bedroom for the guys who are over 18 who want to fuck. I'm often asked, like, where do you actually go? So if you've got your own place, your own home, awesome. If you're in a family home and it's a bit like dodgy, I wouldn't recommend you bring them there. What I'll just say to you guys is I've had some somewhat like chaotic moments of bringing girls to my home, so I wouldn't recommend it. Alternatives: hotel, car, woods, public, like I described before with the text. For the first date, when you're in this hotel, if you can afford the hotel room and it wouldn't super stress you out, then by all means go ahead. I've got to the point in my business that basically there's almost no hotel room that like would add a dent to my bank account at all. So that's why I feel like I absolutely can do that. I wouldn't recommend, if I'm honest, to get a hotel room if it would hurt your bank account. Like if you've got like 1 grand in there and the hotel is like £100, I wouldn't spend 10% of your fucking net worth on that personally. I'd always go and do it somewhere for free. And often you'll be surprised of the quality of girl who'd be down to fucking public. I'm just going to say that many of you will probably think that it'll be a low quality girl only. This girl won't. basically every girl that I've met, no matter what level of quality, they're all down to fuck in public. If they're down to have sex with you, they're down to have sex basically anywhere, like which isn't stupid. They're down to have sex in like in the disabled bathrooms, somewhere quiet and everything. Certain girls are just not down for that at all, but then they're also the kind of girls that if you got the hotel room, they might not even have sex with you on the first night anyway. So it's like take that as you would. Like if she's not gonna have sex with you anyway, you probably didn't want to like get the hotel room. So location, if I'm already on the first date at a bar, I'll either get the hotel. No, to be honest, I'll basically always get the hotel if I don't have my own place. If it's you're meeting in more like a walk gym, I'd probably just go for more of like a public fuck. Or and if you've got a car, that's absolutely fine. Go for a drive in your car, get in, park somewhere private, backseat done. So how to get her there in the first place? Like I said, you don't ask if she wants to come to your hotel. It's a bit autistic because what you're asking is like, can I penetrate you? You've got to pretend like you've got to play the game that women play, unless if like it's a rare occasion when a girl will literally outwardly speak. So, for example, recently I went on a date and this girl, like, we outwardly spoke about our plan. We were doing this exact same thing. We were in a bar of a hotel and we were like kissing and everything. It was long overdue that we fuck basically because I've seen her in the gym for so long. And it was so clear, like we basically was talking about it, and how, and she was like, so how does this work? Like, how, like, what do we have to do to get a hotel room? And I was like, okay, you go to the bathroom, I'll do it. Done. So it was obvious what we were gonna do. It mostly won't be that simple. Most likely, it'll be the girl won't actually say that she's down to fuck you. And if you mention it, it kind of fucks it up. So this is the awkward part of being a guy who's not super rich because you kind of don't want to book the hotel if you're definitely like gonna get laid or not, but she's not gonna tell you with certainty. Most girls won't. So it's like you kind of have to play the game. You kind of have to like pretend there's a reason to consider it. That's why I would say don't book the hotel room unless it's basically fucking clear that like she's down and she basically tells you it's so clear for you and you're willing to take the risk with the finances. That's why I think these cost-free locations are better. Stand up, grab a hand. Come on, we're gonna go over here now. We're gonna go do this thing. Boom, lead her over to whatever the location is. Let's say, okay, you've walked into your room or you've walked into like a spot in the woods. You're walking into the hotel room, or you're walking into your room, or she's walking behind you in the woods, or you've just sat there in the car. Basically, you lead her to the private part and then do the exact same kissing thing. Like when you're at this point, imagine you've walked in the hotel room. So many guys will think that okay, they have to de-escalate and kind of like start scratch and kind of like like sit down and talk about music or something. The moment you walk into the hotel room, fucking turn around, look into her, and go in for the kiss with a little bit of aggression. Like that's fine. And at that point, you can literally start to like take your shirt off and start touching her, grab her hand, and put it over your dick. So that this is the ultimate tactic. I learned this from Dan Bazarian's book, The Setup. He mentioned it a few times. You might want to read this if you're interested at this part. Dan Bazarian, The Setup. It's not really a guide on how to fuck, but he talks a lot about fucking. And he kept on saying this one detail, which was he'd be kissing this girl, he'd grab her hand and put it over his crotch. And that's like that would show you the sign of whether or not she was down based on what her hand would do. Because if her hand starts stroking you, the moment she strokes like your dick over your pants, pull your pants down and she's actually stroking your proper dick. By the time it's like hard, grab her by the skull, face fuck her in the wall or something, boom, you're basically having sex at that point. If you put a hand there and she kind of like retreats a little bit, I've had that so many times, still gotten with them. So it's absolutely normal to have like this last minute resistance where a girl will kind of like push back and say like, oh no, we're not having sex. If that happens, be as respectful as possible and be like, and play with the game. Yep, no, we're not. Who said anything about sex? If you're on the bed, let's say, okay, you've got her on the bed, you'll literally have times in your life where you'll have a girl fully naked, like literally pussy out, and she'll put her hands like this in front of her pussy and be like, we're not having sex. What she's wanting to see, which I don't even want to say to you because it's a bit risky for me to say this, is those kinds of women often have a little bit of a rape fantasy. And even if they wouldn't want to admit it, they kind of want you to like push for it. But I wouldn't suggest that because it's risky as fuck. And it's like, what if you're wrong, right? That's just from the accounts that I've heard from girls telling me afterwards, right? So the exact way that I do is the water bottle technique. It's basically the same as the wine glass when she rejects me. Every single time she shows you a bit of resistance, you, without her pushing you off, you pull back yourself and focus on something else. Like, for example, grab your water bottle and take a little sip. Don't do anything like check your phone, but that's the perfect thing. You got your water bottle on the bed, for example. She's kind of like naked, kind of with clothes, whatever, and she kind of pushes you off and says like, no, 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 and you literally and you like kiss her one more time, really sweet. Then you grab your water bottle. Don't even look at her for a few seconds and just go like, and literally like be really mindful, enjoy the water, and then give her some. Like waterboard her. That's kind of funny. They always love like she's like lying down, like pour it over her mouth and everything, and she's whatever, and then go back in, escalate again. What you'll find is every time that you have a girl who's got last minute resistance, this is like the point that she'll get to. And every time you do this kind of water bottle technique where you kind of take the attention off her and then escalate slowly again, her place moves up till it hits past the barrier where she's willing to have sex with you. So sometimes it can be like 10 times, 15 times where you'll kind of peel back, not push it at all, not like saying anything at all. If you look pissed off slightly, it's game over. Basically, she realizes, oh yeah, he's a fucking chimp. So you literally look as if you're like, you know what you're fucking doing, right? You've been through this 1,000 times. That's where I learned this. Is like I had this hundreds of times. Yeah, probably like tens of times I had this to the point that I just knew, okay, if she's not willing to sleep with me just yet, she probably will be if she's here naked and she's not like rushing to leave, then she's still kind of interested. You just have to give her like another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Let me give you a tip. You would be surprised of the number of girls who would only sleep with you at about 5 a.m. Like it's so late. It takes them so long to kind of like just overcome this resistance. And so if you're kind of like butthurt about it, that's what takes them like off and then they're no longer interested anymore. So just bear that in mind. I didn't really cover the undressing, but when you're kissing each other, you've gotten into the hotel or you're in the car, take off your shirt, start taking off hers. Don't even ask about it. The bras, I'm not gonna lie to you, like bra's kind of awkward. I still kind of fumble with it and stuff. Like to take a bra off, you've got to like grab both sides. So imagine the hooks are like this. Like this is like what a bra looks like. It's like this. Releases and then it snaps out. It's like don't even get upset about something like that. Sometimes you'll be trying to stick your dick in and it like you don't even know where the fucking hole is, bro. It still happens to me. So people think that happens to like virgins. I'm nothing but a fucking not a virgin. I'll still have like a girl randomly who like I'll try and stick my dick in her for literally 10, 15, 20 seconds and she's almost like laughing a little bit. If I nothing changed other than I was a virgin, I would have felt self in like secure or self-conscious or something. I would have, gotten like really like shy or timid. And so I don't. And you should just copy that. So if you ever fuck up with any of these little things, like taking off her clothes, like for example, I just had this girl in London, and she's dressed super super like classy, sophisticated. She's got like a certain kind of dress I've never had before, right? I've never like taken this kind of dress off a girl, and she's kind of like giggling that I'm like stuck a little bit, and I'm like, okay, you do it then. And I'm like just joking around with her. Imagine if I got butt hurt then, like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't like, getting pissed off and then getting like negative thoughts in my mind. But I just saw it as like a funny thing. So I want you, if you're not as experienced, it happens to literally guys who are fucked a lot. Like even total Chad sometimes will be trying to take a girl's bra off and it doesn't work. Literally just recently, I was trying to stick my dick on it into a girl, and it wasn't going in, and it was like the hole was just like higher than I thought it would have been. It happens, so don't get ever insecure about that. You ever like try and take her top off or a dress off, and it's kind of different, and you don't know how to do it, and she's kind of laughing a little bit. Don't think that she's like laughing at you. It's just kind of like an awkward situation. It's like a human situation. Don't ever feel bad about that. Now, one of the last things that I want to cover, apologies we're running late, is once you've fucked and you've got the post nut clarity, it is not over. This is where most guys think, okay, game over. I've won. I've conquered her. This a week to her literally even considering to like fucking accuse you of shit. Like you can go complete 180 after you fucked. So it's not over yet. The few moments after finishing are vital for her not to feel dirty and to basically tell a better story about you in her mind. So the moment that you bust, I would not recommend like kind of being super, super bonded with her unless you want to be. But if it's like a hookup girl, I wouldn't like lay there and hold on to her and, like straight away, unless it's a girl that you actually want to date. Then by all means, stay super close, kiss her all over, be really sweet. Don't do any kind of like alpha male red pill shit of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start doing push-ups or something. If she's a sweet girl and you actually like her, you can stay cuddled with her and literally like what I would do with a girl is like I'll like kiss her like 1,000 times after I've finished, and we'll both just be lying there. What if you want to bond with a girl, you don't clean up straight away. I wish people told me this kind of specific shit. If you don't want to bond with her, then you clean up. Then you'll go stand up, get some toilet paper, get some towels, clean up like all the fluids and shit, go into the shower. If you want to bond with her more, don't even think about cleaning up. She might do because she feels like a little bit like, she's got like cum all over or something. It's okay. Like literally, like I won't lie to you. Like if you've like pulled out and nutted over her stomach or something, you can still like pull her into you and it goes on your side and you act like you don't even give a shit. Because if you want to bond with this girl and suddenly you're like, oh, I've got like my own semen over me, and you're getting into the shower, that moment's gone. Like that oxytocin's gone now. So if you wanted to bond with her, it's okay to have like cum and fluids and shit all around and to be lying in like a puddle of your own filth. It's absolutely fine. Like I won't lie to you. I'll have that shit all the time. And so literally like you can lie down. You've got all this like wet shit around you, but it's fine. You keep her close. You kiss her loads and stuff. That's if you want to bond with her. If you don't, go get in the shower. You can tell her to get in with you. You don't even have to. Sometimes I'll stick music on. I'll just go have like a cold shower if it's like a girl that I'm not trying to bond with. If you want to bond with her, you're that close, then by that time you guys might fall asleep. If you want her to leave, then what's the nicest way to do this? I've done this and I've pissed girls off. The nicest way is to say to them like, let me break down how exactly I would do this. I would insinuate without telling them to leave. So, you're kissing it like, so look, we finished. And I don't want her to stay. For example, I didn't really want to bond with her, or maybe I did, but I don't want her to sleep next to me that night, right? Because many of us here probably couldn't sleep like in the same bed as a new girl. What I would say to her is like, what are you doing after this? What are you doing tomorrow? It kind of insinuates like, okay, this kind of thing is coming to an end. We've got lives outside of this. What are you about to do? Usually when I say a question like that, it's almost like you see her snap into reality and she's like, oh yeah, I've got to go get ready for the thing tomorrow. I've got this other thing. And it's like you basically like how I would tell you with this is remind her of her responsibilities tomorrow. Remind her of the stuff she's got to do tonight/tomorrow. And suddenly you'll see her snap and be like, oh yeah, I've actually got shit to do. If you don't want her to stay. If you want her to stay, what I'll just tell you is tell her. So quickly, I'll tell you this story. There was a girl that I fairly liked in university. And I remember I slept with, she traveled to come see me. It was like 30, 40 minutes away from her. I slept with her and she kind of like asked me, oh, do you want me to go now? And I was too much in this like red pill alpha mode thing. I don't know why. And I was like, yeah. I said that. And in my own mind, I literally wanted her to stay. I wanted to bond with her more. And I said, yeah. And she instantly went, oh, okay. And she started booking her Uber. And I didn't have the confidence to kind of just look to her and say, like, oh, no, I want you to stay. Like, so it's okay for you to, if you want a girl to stay with you and you want to like cuddle and you want to bond with her more, it's okay for you to look her in the eyes and say, like, no, stay with me. No, stay with me. It's fine. In the morning, I'll get you this. We'll figure it out. Whatever. It's fine. Stay with me. I wish like that night I did that. Not because I was in love with her, but like she was a sweet girl, and like I never saw her again after that. It would have been nice if I did. So don't lose out on an opportunity at a moment like that, especially if you wanted to see her, but you just felt like you felt incapable of telling the truth. It's okay to say to a girl like, no, I want you to stay with me here. I want you to sleep next to me tonight. Always buy them the Uber. I always do this. I think it's just a good act of like being a gentleman, and it's also really good for any kind of like problems afterwards. It's very hard for her to like falsely accuse you when you've got evidence of you sending her home and everything like that as well. And you order the Uber, tell her to put in her address, be like, no, I'll get it for you. No, like you came to meet me, I'll get it for you. It's what a gentleman does. The story in her mind is like, oh, this guy's actually quite sweet. Even if you don't want to see her again, you do this because you want every girl who leaves your place or leaves like having sex with you to leave with a positive testimonial, basically. Because one, you'll avoid absolute chaos if you're a sweet guy. Basically, if you're a gentleman, it's very unlikely that a girl's going to accuse you of shit or like talk shit about you. Very unlikely. If you're a dick to her, it is. If you're like gross, like that dirty fucking immigrant, then yeah, sure. If you're literally sweet to her and you literally buy her the Uber home and everything, and you go downstairs and you walk her out and you open the car door for her, I always do that. It's like in her mind, she's thinking, that's actually really fucking sweet. She might be brain dead on a phone on the way home, but her story will build up of like, oh no, like I feel quite nice towards him. Plus, if you want to keep fucking her or maybe her friends or other people who know, she'll say nice things about you as well. So just bear that in mind. If you ever leave a girl, like she's kind of like stranded and you kicked her out or something, she's gonna chat shit about you. And of course, she's gonna go home thinking, oh yeah, and his dick was small anyway. And she's just gonna start like fucking making lies, right? Like there's like motherfuckers I've banned in Adonis school because they were being dickheads, and then like they left and they were like, "Oh yeah," and the courses were bad. And I was like, "Fuck you, no they weren't. I saw your testimonial, bitch. I know you like the courses, bro." There's like it's like the last moment if you treat a girl bad, her whole perception of the entire night will get diluted. You must understand this. The last few minutes that she spends with you will actually picture and manipulate her whole entire attitude. So if, for example, you send her downstairs in her own Uber, you don't walk her downstairs, she'll literally see the entire night worse. She'll literally, for some reason, basically think your dick was like an inch smaller. So it's so valuable for you to do the last few little bits of effort, even if you've got post-nut clarity. Buy the Uber, put your gym clothes on if you're back at home or whatever. Like walk her downstairs, open up the car door like a gentleman, give her a little hug, goodbye, grab her hand. I always do this because it's romantic. Grab her hand and go, take care of yourself. Boom. Close the door. Wave off. Don't even walk away like I literally like a gentleman. I'll stand there outside in the cold and see the car go away. Because it's like you may as well leave that lasting impression. It's going to cost you 30 seconds. If it means that there's not that 0.1% risk of chaos happening, it's worth it for 30 seconds, right? Text her afterwards straight away. So awesome to see you tonight. That's it. You don't have to say more details. You don't have to be any gay shit. So awesome to see you tonight. Done. You'll never be kind. You'll never regret being kind after sleeping with a girl. You'll never look back and be like, oh, I really wish I wasn't kind. You'll never think that. You will regret being cold. Notice how I told you a story of something that happened, what, 6, 7 years ago? There's always going to be a bit of a regret because if you're watching this, most likely you're quite like a warm, kind-hearted guy, right? You've watched my videos, you've seen like the sort of connection that we've been able to build. It will like somewhat haunt you if you treat a girl bad who you didn't mean to because you were getting into this like, oh yeah, I'm a dickhead fuck boy, whatever. You'll think about it for years later, thinking like, damn, she was actually sweet as fuck. Like I don't know why I did that. Like I think back about that Chinese girl that I was talking about. I think back about her and I was like, I treated her fucking horribly. Like I literally like she used to like bring me gifts and everything, and I just like would ignore her texts and try and do this like cold-hearted alpha male thing. But I could have actually been nice to her. Like she was so nice to me. This girl here, like she was so nice to me. She traveled like 45 minutes to come see me. I bust, but like 5, 10 minutes after she came over, and I basically sent her home again. And I was thinking, like, what a fucking asshole. You'll never regret being a bit nicer to like the girls that you actually like.